Hi, and welcome to Clean Green Living. I'm Leslie Reichert, your host, and I wanted to ask you, have you ever looked at Pinterest? It's another one of those social media things that we're all supposed to be doing, but on Pinterest, it's a great way to find new ideas. One of the top hits on Pinterest is do-it-yourself cleaning. I know, it's so weird, isn't it? Of all the beautiful things you could take pictures of, cleaning is the top post. So I thought I'm going to take those posts and I'm going to put them to the test. Because sometimes you get a great photographer, they can take wonderful pictures, but then when you actually try the tip, it doesn't work. So I have a bunch of things we're going to try today, and we're going to do a fix or a fail kind of program. So we're going to try it, see if it works. If it fixes it, we give it 2 thumbs up. If it fails, I'm going to try and give you an alternative. So hang on, we've got a lot to go through today, but it's going to be a great time. One of the biggest frustrations when you have a tile floor is cleaning your grout. Now I'm really lucky because my grout is actually gray, so you can't really tell when it's dirty, but I'm finding out that it's dirty. On Pinterest, they recommend using Resolve, which is a spot cleaner for carpeting. So I thought, let's see if this really works. Okay, let's put it to the test. So I'm just going to spray it on. I'm going to let it sit for a minute. And then I have a small brush, and we're going to brush my grout. Uh-oh, look at the dirt coming off of here. Now while I'm brushing, I kind of smell a smell of chemicals. I'm not really sure what's in Resolve because they can't tell you what's in it. But it seems to be really working and lifting off the dirt of my grout. This is going to show me that I'm going to have to do this on every single tile now that I've done this. All right, so let's let that sit. Because I'm smelling something a little harsher than what I like in my home, I'm going to try and mix up something that's made with simple ingredients, and we'll see if it works just as well. So we'll be right back. Hang on, and I'll see if I can make it work for you. So we tried the Resolve on the grout, and it did work. But as I was using it, I smelled a little bit of a chemical, and of course you never know what's in those cleaning products. So I'm going to try and mix up something at home that's a little bit safer, and we'll see if it works next to the Resolve. So this is oxygen bleach. I'm just going to put a scoop of it, and I filled up a mug with really hot water, but only halfway. Now don't try and boil the water. I did this the other night, and the oxygen bleach actually releases with all the boiling water, and it just foams and foams and foams, and it really never stops. It just keeps foaming until all the oxygen bleach is gone. But in the hot water it works great. We're going to dissolve it, and then we're just going to put a little bit of lemon juice in there with it. So what you have is a natural bleach along with a natural acid. And we're going to mix those 2 things together and then try that against the Resolve and see if it works. Okay, let's go see what happens. So I brought that mixture that we just made, it's oxygen bleach and lemon juice, down here to the tile floor. As you can see, even with just hot water, the oxygen bleach is starting to already release. But I'm going to take this and we're going to compare it next to the Resolve and see if it works as well. I can see it's starting to lift the dirt just like the other. And it is kind of foamy even though there's no soap in it. It seems to be taking a little bit longer, and it doesn't seem to be lifting quite as much of the dirt off. So let's wipe both areas and see what we find. Now again, because my tiles, the grout is dark, you can't really see a huge difference, but definitely the Resolve seemed to work, but the oxygen bleach and lemon juice did just as well of a job. So there you go. I would say the Resolve is 2 thumbs up. It's definitely a fix, but I gave you an alternative just in case you're sensitive to some chemicals. For this Pinterest tip, they recommend using wax paper to repel water spots on your faucet. So what we're going to have to do is try the tip and then actually let it sit, because it's going to drive me nuts, but we're going to have to leave water sitting on my faucet while we do the other fix or fails to see if this really works. So we're going to take a piece of wax paper and I'm going to just fold it up a little bit. And it's supposed to be the wax from the paper is going to go onto the faucet and then actually try and repel the water spots. I was kind of nervous about trying this because I wondered if the wax was actually going to give it kind of a waxy look, or you'd see some streaks and smears, which in fact, even while I'm doing it now, I can start to actually see that happening. But I'm going to continue on with it. Go over everything with the wax. Then I'm going to turn that piece of paper inside out with the wax on the other side. Go back over it. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and give it a good waxing. And then, now that we're done with that, I'm actually going to put water on the faucet. We'll drip a few things. We're going to leave it for a little while, come back and see if it repelled the water. I tell you, this is going to drive me crazy all day, but we're going to leave it there and we'll see what happens. I don't know, fix or fail. So cast iron is really, it's easy to clean but difficult to clean. It's easy because you don't want to put anything soapy or any detergent in it or on it because it's porous and it'll actually start absorbing it. But it's also difficult because you can't use anything like a detergent to clean it. On Pinterest, they recommend using a potato. And this is what they say. You take the potato, cut it in half, and then you're dipping it in kosher salt. You can use table salt or sea salt as well, but I'm going to try the kosher because that's what they said to use. I'm going to dip the potato in the salt and then scrub. Now what's happening is the potato has a little bit of moisture in it, so we're not using water, we're just using the moisture of the potato, and we're going around the cast iron. And you need quite a bit of salt because that's what's doing the scrubbing for you. Go up around the sides. Get a little more salt. I don't know, I don't see much dirt or any grease coming off. It does have a kind of a grindy feel for it, but nothing's really coming off. I guess the real test will be is to see if we rinse it out and see how it looks after we do it. So far, not so much of a fix. As you all know, I am a big fan of baking soda. If you have a copy of my book, you can see recipes, like over 30 of them that have baking soda in them. And Pinterest is a big fan of baking soda as well. They've got lots of different things on there to tell you how to clean with it. One of the tips they recommend is actually cleaning your cabinets with them. And they say you mix it with a little bit of olive oil, and then you use it to scrub off those sticky corners wherever the handprints have been there. Even if you have hand pulls, you still get kind of a sticky buildup right there. So we're gonna give this a try and see what happens. So the recipe is 2 to 1. So we're gonna do 1 scoop of baking soda and then 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now you have to remember baking soda is aggressive. That's why it works so well. It's a scrub. And we're going to put 2 tablespoons of the olive oil in there and mix it really well. Now you want to keep mixing it until all the baking soda dissolves into the olive oil. you're going to take a nice rag, a nice soft rag, dip it in that mixture, and just put a little bit on that area that's given you some trouble. You can go over the whole cabinet if you want. I think you would be better off if just trying a spot area, an area that's really not important to you first, because I have something I want to show you next. So with this Pinterest Fix or Fail, I was able to go and test this the other day, and like I recommended, you find a nice spot that's not really important to you. I didn't do that. I didn't take my own advice. I used this on this corner, and as you can plainly see, it basically took the finish off of the cabinet. And let me explain to you what happens. Your fingers have oils in them, natural oils, and you keep touching the finish of the cabinet, and then you don't wipe it away. Well, that oil starts to work and break down the finish on your cabinetry. So even if you take something abrasive, like baking soda, and add it to olive oil, it's going to start taking the finish off because that oil's already started to break down the finish on your cabinetry. So then when you actually take a scrub and start working on it, you can see the finish goes away. The other thing that happens is you can see down in the cracks and crevices, the baking soda started to lodge there, and it's very difficult to get out. I mean, I might even have to take a knife to get it out. And that's really dangerous to use around wood. So I don't know about the fix or fail on this one. Maybe if you have a certain kind of cabinetry or the oils haven't been there for very long, it might work. I don't recommend this. As you can see, I have beautiful white countertops in my kitchen. It's not always such a blessing. I come home after doing something and I find something like this, a strawberry sitting on my white countertops. Now, Pinterest recommends using toothpaste to get the stain off instead of something with bleach in it. I thought I loved this idea, so let's see if it really works. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to wipe that off, and as you can plainly see, there's a nice red stain there. I'm going to take the toothpaste, dab a little bit on a cloth, and we'll see if it takes the stain out. Now, this is not special whitening toothpaste or anything like that. It's just the typical everyday toothpaste. I'm rubbing it all around the area. And amazingly, it's gone. This is fabulous. If this is safe enough to use brushing your teeth every day, it's definitely safe enough to use on your countertops. This is perfect. When you have a kid that comes home and they've had Kool-Aid or a drink and it stained your countertops, don't reach for something that has bleach or chemicals in it. Reach for your toothpaste. I've actually done this with my mother-in-law. She had the same stain at her house, and she was going to get the chemicals to get it off. And I said, wait. I ran upstairs, grabbed her toothpaste, came downstairs, and she said I was a genius. So if my mother-in-law can say I'm a genius, this Pinterest gets 2 thumbs up. So we're back to see if the Pinterest Fix or Fail on wax paper actually worked on the faucet. So we let it dry for a little while, and when I come back, I can plainly see little water spots all over. So the water dried on top of the wax. It didn't really get rid of any water spots. So this one definitely gets a fail. But what you can do instead, the real reason why it didn't work is the water has minerals in it, and if it dries on top of it, it's just going to leave a spot. There's nothing you can do to repel that. But you can actually try and get the water spots off by using a microfiber cloth. So this is a fine woven microfiber cloth. It's exactly like the ones you would get if you went to your eye doctor. He's the one that gives you the little blue cloth to use on your glasses. This is a bigger version of it. And you're just gonna wet it. And I use hot water when I wet it. I just like it nice and warm. It expands the fibers and makes it so that it works a little better. And then I wring it out really, really well so that there's hardly any water left in it. So now it's just feeling like a damp rag. And I go over anything shiny. And because it's actually basically working on the surface tension of the chrome, you can see immediately it dries and it leaves it perfectly shiny and clean. You can use it inside the stainless steel, you can use it on porcelain, and it leaves it perfect. And you don't have to worry about putting wax paper on it and all sorts of funky things like that. Just wipe your chrome with a microfiber cloth. So the wax paper, not so much. The microfiber cloth, 2 thumbs up. On Pinterest, there's some crazy tools that you can make. And one of them I saw was this little tong thing to help you clean your blinds. Now, mini blinds are difficult, and I have bigger, thicker blinds, and they're kind of difficult to clean. But according to Pinterest, this little tool will work wonders for you. So I'm going to show you how we make it up, and then we'll try it. So I'm taking an old microfiber cloth, and I have to cut it in half, which I hate doing because I really love my microfiber cloths. And cut it down here. And microfiber is kind of difficult to cut because it is so thick and has so many different fibers in it. So you want to try and use a really sharp pair of scissors, and even with that, it's not working great. So now we're going to wrap this part of the microfiber around a pair of kitchen tongs. I know, just go with me, we're going to try it. So after trying this once, I did learn that you have to make sure that the seam is not underneath. So when you're wrapping it around, you want to make sure the seam is up above. And then we're going to just take some cloth, I call them hair doodles, and wrap them there and then down below. You want to make sure that they're wide enough so whatever size blind you have, these are not going to be rubbing on it. I don't recommend the rubber bands because the rubber, when you stick it on the blind, is actually going to pull. So you want to use something that's more of a fabric, and you can use the hair doodles. Okay, let's go see if it works. Okay, so we've got our tongs, we've got the little microfiber wrapped around it with our little hair doodles, and we're going to see if this actually works. So according to Pinterest, you stick this up underneath and you wipe the blinds back and forth. Then you move down to the next blind and you wipe back and forth. So if you look at it, it's definitely picking up dirt and dust, but I'm not real excited about how much time this is taking. So I have a better way. Let's try something different. I'm going to take the same type of microfiber in a cloth. I'm going to shut the window all the way, and then what we're going to do is just dust it. So we're going to hold this down and go over it this way. It's not going to take as much time. It's going to do the same thing that we were doing with the tongs, only I don't have to go in, slide back and forth, pull it out, go to the next one. We're just going over the whole area and dusting it, and it's perfect. I don't know. I'm going to kind of give it a half up, half down on the Pinterest, but I think my way works better. Pinterest says that you can use a lint roller to take dust off of a lampshade. It makes sense. It might work. I have this wonderful new 3M sticky, it's ultra sticky lint roller, so it's going to work really well if it works. So just hold the lampshade, and because this one's so sticky, it's literally pulling the fabric as well, which is great. So it's going down inside the fabric, picking up the dust and the dirt. And the other thing I like about it is on the top, which is really difficult. You can't really get that with a vacuum cleaner. And sometimes you can try and get it with a dusting cloth. But the lint roller is working great for that, and especially down here on those edges as well. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot of dust and dirt on that lint roller. It works. 2 thumbs up for the 3M lint roller. It looks like I'm set up to make a sandwich, doesn't it? But instead, I'm going to make a furniture restorer. I know this Pinterest tip works because I have to tell you it's mine, so I want to make that right out there before I start making it. But we're going to use mayonnaise, olive oil, and lemon juice mixed together. And this isn't something you'd use on a regular day like to dust. This is a restorer, a refresher. It's going to bring the oils out of the wood. You're going to be amazed at how well it works. So we're going to take about 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. And you want to use regular mayonnaise. Don't use the fat-free one or Miracle Whip or any of those others. It has to be the real mayonnaise. And then the same amount of olive oil, and just about 2 tablespoons. And you mix that together. And it's the natural oils in both of these products that are going to work together to give you this lovely luster on your dining room table. Now, the last one you're going to put in is lemon juice. It can be fake lemon juice. You don't have to squeeze a lemon. And not 2 tablespoons. You're just going to put in 1 tablespoon. And the lemon juice is your natural acid, and that's actually going to lift and cut through any buildup that you might already have on your table. So, kind of looks like a sauce or something you're going to put on a sandwich, but it's not. We're going to take 1 rag, dip it in, just a little bit on there, not a lot. And we're going to go over the furniture. And as you can see, there was a little bit of like a water spot or something there. It actually dove right in and lifted it up. Leave it sit for just a minute. Then you take a dry, clean microfiber cloth and go over that same area. And look, the luster of the furniture is coming up. It's not leaving any streaks or smears. It's just perfectly clean and shiny. And it's wonderful because it doesn't have any chemicals in it that are going to attract dust to it. So I think this Pinterest is 2 thumbs up. I have this on my board on Pinterest. It's under tips and tricks. You can go look at that. And you can get lots of other ideas that I do too. Stairs are very difficult. There's no real way to get into all those little cracks and crevices. But Pinterest says that if I use a rubber glove, I can get into that and not have to carry a vacuum up and down the stairs. Let's give it a try. I have left my stairs unvacuumed for over a week. And with 2 golden retrievers, they are very hairy, trust me. So let's see how this works. It doesn't almost feel like you're doing anything, then all of a sudden, look at this. I picked up all this dog hair. I think I like this idea. I can just rub the stairs with a rubber glove, pull it all the way to the middle, and then just take a vacuum cleaner and suck it up. This is fantastic. I wish I would have known this trick earlier. Actually, I don't even have to use the vacuum on the stairs. I'll just take the rubber glove and go all the way down the stairs like that. I could make a sweater out of this. I'm so sorry, but I had to show you that it'll work. I think it gets 2 thumbs up. Welcome to my bathroom. You're going to find out why the Today Show calls me the Queen of the Throne. It's not a title I'm proud of, but that's what they said. One of the things I've seen on Pinterest and on Facebook is that people say distilled white vinegar actually removes hard water stains from their toilet. I've never tried this before. So last night, I actually had to drain the water from my toilet. And what you have to do is you have to go behind your toilet and you have to actually turn the water off and then flush it a few times and all the water will drain out. Then what I did was I took a gallon of distilled white vinegar, put it in the toilet, and let it sit overnight. Now I had to put a sign up that said, do not use this toilet, because my family would come in and undo everything we were trying to do. So when I opened it up this morning, I'm not so sure. I'm going to actually give it a quick swish. I hate to say it didn't work as well as we thought it would. This one does not get the 2 thumbs up from us, but I do have something that'll work instead. This is a pumice stone on a stick. The same thing that you would use on your feet for getting rid of calluses will work wonders in your toilet. It's soft enough that it won't scratch the porcelain, but it's hard enough to take off the hard water spots. So I want you to come over here. You're going to watch me clean my toilet, and I'm going to show you how well it works. So one of the biggest things people have to deal with in their toilet is the ring that comes around the water. And it's a buildup of water minerals that attach themselves to the porcelain. People will pour all sorts of chemicals down inside to get rid of it, but this little tool will take care of it. It doesn't sound like it's hurting anything, and it just kind of feels like you're scratching something. But it's going to take that ring right away. You can swish it real quick. Ta-da! It's gone. Isn't that easy? Not one chemical, and we got rid of something that's probably been annoying you for years. How do you like all our Pinterest tips? We had some really good fixes. I liked the one with the olive oil and the mayonnaise on the table, mostly because it was mine. I also liked using the glove on the stairs. That was fun. The fails I was a little disappointed about was the vinegar in the toilet. I thought for sure the acid in the vinegar would cut through the minerals, but it really didn't. I think what it did do for some people is may have actually bleached the color of the mineral buildup, but it didn't remove it. So they were looking at the minerals, but they were turning white to match the porcelain. The other thing I was really kind of disappointed about was the potato on the cast iron. Didn't really do anything for me. If you liked all these tips, we're going to keep doing our show, and they're going to also be in the magazine. It's called Clean Green Living Magazine that you can get for free online. Just go to cleangreenlivingmagazine.com and you can get the digital copy. You can also find us online at cleangreenlivingtv.com, where we put all the episodes up there for you. You can download them and take a look at them at your convenience. We hope you're enjoying the show. Please share it with your friends, and we're having a great time learning how to live a cleaner, greener lifestyle. See you next time.